Whoa. Sorry, having a bit of trouble with my technical issues here. All right. Good morning. So this morning we're talking about mindset. I love talking about this subject, mindset. It's the most spoken about subject all across the internet. Everybody wants to have a good mindset. And mindset is one of the things that really interests me, and it's something that I like diving into. And I'm fortunate enough to speak to a lot of people about this, right? Mindset. Is your mindset shit? Is your mindset shit? Now, it's an interesting topic because I find a lot of people that I speak to have this context of mindset and they feel that they're in a really great place. Their mindset is perfect. Everyone, whenever I speak to them and I ask them, how's your mindset? They say, oh, it's amazing. I do this type of thing. I do that type of thing. I'm reading books. I'm doing meditation. I'm deep breathing. I'm doing all these things to try and, and I feel amazing. I'm doing really, really well. And for the most part, typically when people are speaking to me is because they've come to me with a problem and they've got a problem to solve. So fundamentally, there's this gap, right? And there's a missing part of the mindset piece, because mindset is everything. If you get your mind right, if you get your biology, your physiology working all together, then your whole life and your whole world is going to be working synchronistically together. So it's an interesting concept, right? An interesting context. Now, one of the things I am interested in when people start talking to me is about mindset is the longevity of mindset, right? So many people have aspirations to aim for their goals, and they try and hit those goals, and then they fizzle out. They go for it hard. They're doing really well. They're doing all these practices, exercise, business accomplishments, whatever. They reach a point, and then they fizzle out. And then they've got to struggle to get back at it. Usually these cycles take years to perpetuate. So they do something great and then they fizzle out, and then that takes them a long time because they regress, oftentimes say with weight or oftentimes bad habits, right? And these all go down in a cycle, and then people trying to fight back, battle to get back to a really good point. Now, accomplishing any goal means that once you've got there, you need to keep growing. You need to keep consistently at it. That's the power of it, right? A recent study was done with all the Biggest Loser contestants a little while ago, right? There was a study done, and somebody went to go and research or check up and see how all the Biggest Loser contestants were doing after their bouts in the show, right? The Biggest Loser, if you all remember that, is where the contestants who were quite overweight went through these drastic transformations. They stripped down a whole lot of body fat, and they looked absolutely amazing after the show, and they went on to win. Those that lost the most amount of weight won the biggest prizes, right? Now, out of all the contestants that won, only one of them seemed to have been able to keep that momentum going. The rest kind of fell back. So which kind of piqued in me into the interest of understanding why this has happened, right? And it turns out that there's a problem more than just mindset, right? And here it is. Most people do this. They go into this context of mindset, they read, they meditate, they chant affirmations, all these kind of things which are intrinsically focused on building the strong prefrontal cortex, right? We're trying to manage our brain that's all hyperactive, right? And being in control of that. And so oftentimes we're telling ourselves that we're amazing, but there's still something missing inside, right? That's the problem. So we're going into meditations and we're affirming, I am amazing, I'm a millionaire, I'm worth so much, whatever your affirmations are. We kind of say these things that we're trying to accomplish these goals. But guess what? Our brain's not stupid. Our brain knows, right? So we're affirming that we're trying to accomplish something, but our brain knows where we are at currently, because you've got issues that we need to deal with, which are further seated than just, dealing with your mindset. in order to have a great mindset, you need a full system. You need everything working for you. You need a body system, an energy system. You need a mind system. And a mind system needs to be able to be managed effectively so that you can utilize it around all your systems, your energy system, your body system, and your life system, right? And there's a big problem, right? The big problem is this. And for the most part, most people fit into this category. We've got an issue with, it first starts with inflammation. You see, we're living these lives, these sedentary lives that are filled with, doing things that are not helping to create a good biology. And biology is one of the fundamental components to driving good mindset, right? You can't lie to yourself by affirmations or telling yourself all these amazing things, but you've got this other thing that's happening inside your body whereby you've got inflammation. Or another component of this is your neurochemicals are all over the shop. Or your neurochemicals aren't firing the way they are. So you're telling yourself you're amazing, you're feeling good, but as the day goes by, you're draining, you're feeling worse and worse, and you're not accomplishing your goals. You're not able to achieve more in your life because these things are affecting you. Another major component of this is your brain, the functionality of your brain, right? So many people are doing these amazing things. They're reading books. They're trying really to put the pieces together, but their brains are still firing at this hyper rapid pace, and it's not sustainable, and it's not giving the best outcome for you to actually perform at your best. Because what's happening is that your mind is just traveling at this constant rate, and it's thinking about a lot of stuff, and it's got, you're ruminating, you're thinking about arguments, you're thinking about the past, you're dreaming about the future. You've got all these things going on in your head, and it's just causing a whole lot of mess. And there's no focus, there's no concentration, there's no bringing it in so that you can actually be in the moment and achieve way more. And finally, a big one is your autonomic nervous system. If your nervous system is not firing at its best, if it's not functioning the way it's supposed to, you're always going to be in a reactive or a counter-reactive state. Because if it's imbalanced, you're not going to be performing at your best. You're putting your whole life into a kind of a whirlwind if you don't know how to manage, control your autonomic nervous system. Now, mindset is a big game. It involves a whole lot of stuff: your neurochemistry, your nervous system, your gut biome. Your gut even plays a major part in this, right? And that's part of that whole inflammation component. And inflammation is one of the biggest killers on our planet at the moment. If you're not in control of inflammation, you haven't got a good mindset, because it's connected. We're all interconnected. Our whole system works as one. So I get to speak to a lot of people, and it's interesting to me. Based on all of this, right, people are doing amazing things. They're trying to, live better lives, live healthier lives, which is amazing. I get that's awesome, but we need to look at this really holistically. And more importantly, it's not just doing these things, it's the rhythm in which we do them. It's how we're doing them as well. Breathing, sleeping, eating, exercise, all these things need to be done in certain cycles and rhythms, otherwise your body goes out of whack. And if you start getting these rhythms together, it's actually very, very simple. It's just a matter of following the formula, right? We have a very tight formula that we use, and this formula works really well. This formula is all about creating momentum, right? Getting control of your mindset, right? Powering up your mindset, fueling your mind, giving your body the performance that it needs, regeneration, building and engineering a life that's much more sustainable, bringing in technology, neurotech to help to sustain that, and ultimately working to master flow. When you've mastered flow, you're really able to really drive amazing amounts of performance in your life and be able to accomplish so much more in your life than you ever thought you could possibly do. So mindset is a really awesome game, right? And it's really good to master this. But you need to look at this deeper than just reading and taking in this a whole lot of energy from the external factors, and looking at it more deeply and going into your subconscious and really deeply understanding your neurochemicals, your biology, and how it's being affected, because everything you do makes a difference. I had a lady come to me the other day talking to me about fitness, right? And she said she doesn't believe that she should be doing fitness, or she should be what she calls shaking her body around, which is an interesting context because in order to have a good mindset, you need to have physical attributes. You need to raise your heart rate. Your heart rate needs to go up, and you need intensity in your life to be able to build that baseline for neurochemicals. It's one of the fundamental things. So she's doing all these amazing things. She's breathing, she's doing meditation, she's trying to do all these things. But if you go deeper into these, what she's doing in her daily practices, you find there's missing gaps. The diet component, how she's eating, the missing components of exercise, the missing components of understanding the neurobiology and how it's all affecting these other things which are putting on weight and causing other stress factors in her life. So I love talking about this, and I could talk about this for hours. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. If you ever want to talk to me about this kind of stuff, you want to learn more about how to really maximize your biology, your neurochemicals, and your, get your mind into a place where it's really super powered, come and catch up with me. There's a button here.